What's happening, everyone? Just going to walk through a bit of an outlook for the week and what I'm kind of expecting given what price is doing now. So what is it? 15 minutes before London Open on Monday. So prime time to kind of get your pre-market analysis done. So 4 hourly, a couple of weeks ago, we had major induce, and now we've pushed ourselves all the way back up to an area of supply, and now we're kind of in that 50-50 area, okay? We did have possibly the internal break. Now we've taken liquidity and we've pushed. So once we break this low, I will be okay to look for retracement buys, but it'll be looking like we're actually going to sell off, fill some of this imbalance, and probably come down to this bigger point here. So that'll be quite clean. I can jump straight down to the 15 minute. There's no need for any in-between timeframes there. On the 15 minute, we've completed the structure cycle to the downside perfectly. We've now come all the way back up and medium induced high. So what I'll do is I'll mark that as a medium inducement for you guys as well here. Now we've pushed back down into the extreme demand. Only thing and only worry about this demand is it didn't break external, whereas this broke external 15 minutes. So I'm not expecting this to necessarily hold. I'm more expecting something like this, building up that liquidity here. Either we can take the buy or take the sell. I am open to buying this. I'm open to then selling this, and I'm actually open to the retracement buy after to then sell again. So we're in this area where we've got heaps of liquidity and liquidity that holds value in this area. And another thing is this this demand point that sits here, we still haven't filled the entire imbalance above it. So I'm open to both. I'm open to both sides of the market, but the high probability trade for this week or coming into this week is definitely selling, okay? We're getting inducements high, pushes low. Inducements high, pushing low. And you can see that that's evidable. The evidence behind that is right here. Inducement, push, inducement, push, inducement. And we're kind of getting that selling movement now. So yeah, I think sells are kind of the main go for EU coming into this week. They were buyers until we've basically just fallen off a cliff with no news. So there was no news there. It's just decided to fall off. So sells are the go. I don't like selling at the bottom of a range, so I will need that retracement. Build up some liquidity, and then I'm open to sell. So I'm open to buy into that, like I've said. Now, in terms of GU is more or less the same, actually a lot more bearish. We have major induced high. We only are sitting in this imbalance still. We haven't filled the point itself. So there is some opportunity to use both sides because we have major induced. Now this major inducement hasn't led to a higher high. It's more than likely going to do something like this and start going lower, which kind of works. We've got this point here, which is more or less already filled that we've come into. We've got this point here and this area here to come down to. So we've got lots of imbalance and lots of demand areas to fill below. Straight down to the 15 minute, kind of what we're working with here. Like I said, inducement. From that inducement, we've just had bearish structure. So we had break, seller's model play out here to then sell, take of liquidity, nice little retest, and then from there we've just pushed straight down to this demand here. Now, this demand did show lots of buying opportunity coming into the end of the week, but unfortunately what we've had happen is we actually racked it off of this supply point here, which is a supply to demand, demand to supply off of this point. So it's a very strong point. We did more or less medium induce into that as well. So we've manipulated, pushed down and taken that. This does give us the medium inducement low, so we've medium induced into the rest of this point. Like on EU, I'm expecting a reaction to the upside, but I'm not expecting this point to actually hold. So I'm open to buyers, to sells, to buyers, to sells. That's kind of what I'm looking at. This point holds a lot of liquidity given that it broke through the first point and also ended up and broke through that major point above. So lots of liquidity sitting in this point. So I'm open to buyers, to sells, to buyers, to sells. Like I said on EU, just sells being the more profitable approach for the week. It holds a lot more value in price at the moment to sell given the current bearish conditions. And you don't want to get too caught up in external structure until we get some type of buying movement in order to buy. So because we have just created some 15-minute structure, I'm okay to buy off of that. But once we fall through here, I'll see if I can use this inducement to push up. But once we've done that, we're going to have to keep selling. And I'm going to need some type of bullish range. And that normally comes from a bullish two leg with an inducement or two breaks of structure, or just something that provides me with some type of idea to buy. Okay, but at the moment, it's looking like sells. We'll see if we can do anything off the back of this liquidity, but the more external liquidity you take, the harder it is to take a 1 minute trade off of. So That's why I like this. It's medium inducement. It's just medium liquidity, 15-minute low liquidity. It gives us that mitigation. So this could be something we look at coming into the session that starts in 10 minutes. So let's have a good week and we'll go from there. And yeah, let's get after it.